Hello my lovies, welcome back to the channel and welcome to my home. We're in the bedroom today. I thought I'd take you in bed with Elliot. It's like in bed with Madonna, only I'm not Madonna and I haven't got conical tits. Right, so I wasn't going to make a video today, but I'm going to because Megsy Baby's, woo, maybe I have got the tits. Megsy Baby's jam has sold out, my lovies, and she's proclaimed it rather loudly on social media, gloating and gleaning as ever. Ooh, my goodness, there must have been some hungry Sussex squatters out there, my goodness. So she's very quick to claim success, and I think the question that we all need to ask, I'm sure everyone's going to be asking, is actually how much was the batch? How much was the initial unit run of the spread? It's not even jam. I checked out what jam is. I'm going to do this so that I know where to insert this bit of footage. This is the definition of jam and spread and conserve and preserve. So I wanted to do a little bit of research on what actually is a spread, because to me it sounded cheaper, especially as she's charging £9.99 for a jar of jam when it's not actually jam, it's spread. And I'm thinking, that sounds like an awful lot of money for something that's probably quite cheap. So a jam legally has to be made by fruit and sugar together and has to contain at least 60% sugar, including natural fruit sugars, to be legally classified as jam in the UK and the EU. Not sure about the US. But conserve is similar but has a higher fruit content, usually larger pieces or chunks of fruit with premium ingredients. So you would expect, wouldn't you, that perhaps, something that's marketed in the way it's done in the presentation box, blah blah blah, and the price, that it would be a conserve. But no, it's a fruit spread, often used when a product doesn't meet the legal sugar requirement to be called jam. Example, a reduced sugar version. It may use fruit juice or natural sweeteners instead of refined sugar, and can be marketed as a healthier alternative because it obviously doesn't have the sugar content. Jelly, it says it's less common in the UK, and preserves and marmalade. Well, we're not talking about those. So basically, it is a cheaper alternative, but can be spun to be healthier. Although I don't quite like the idea of sweeteners. Anyway, whatever. It's a fruit spread, not a jam. Now, this is what you really want. Highgrove Organic Preserve Raspberry and Blackberry. Now, this looks good, doesn't it? I mean, just look at this. Yum, yum, yum. And only £6.95, a much better product for less money. Meghan, what are you doing, my love? Honestly, so the description is, Highgrove's Organic Raspberry and Blackberry Preserve is made in Somerset in small batches to an exclusive recipe. The generous quantities of plump raspberries and tart blackberries, oh my goodness, are cooked gently by hand in copper kettles to preserve their juiciness and sweet flavour. Well, we certainly didn't see in that video Meghan put out that it was made, hers was made in copper kettles, batch made. Hers was produced goodness knows where. But anyway, nutritional information, blah, blah, blah. So the sugar content is 60 grams per 100 gram, which is obviously the legal requirement for it to be a jam. And there is also alternative preserves as well. Raspberry on its own, although I do like the idea of the blackberry one as well. Highgrove Organic Strawberry, with marked champagne. Oh, I like the sound of that one as well. Anyway, get yourself down to Fortnum & Mason's and buy the Duchy original, the Highgrove Organic. There is also the Duchy originals as well. But get yourself down to Fortnum & Mason's website. Their jam looks far superior. As you know, Meghan's jam is not jam, it's a spread. It's a cheaper alternative, and it's been mass produced. So, as I said in the clip, I really have no idea how she can charge such a high price for something that is not a quality product. There are quality real jams or real conserves or preserves out there that are far superior. Which leads me to think, what is the wider long-term impact of Meghan's as ever products. And of course, she didn't just sell the spread. There was a pancakey mix thing. Apparently it's all sold out. So what I'm thinking is that there were a lot of people that initially wanted to try. Now, it's impressive if you sold out on the first day in the first hour with maybe a unit run of 100,000 units or 500,000 units or even 1,000,000. I mean, that would be impressive. I would actually be impressed by that. But if it's 1,000 or 500 or even 100, I mean, we do not know at what levels this was actually produced at. We already know that it came out that someone who's been working for Netflix on this project is already sick and tired of it. They didn't know how much they should be producing, which leads me to think that it wasn't a high number, because they would have, if they were certain that it was going to have a really high demand, well, you'd run a massive run. I'm going to tilt my glasses so you can't see the glare. You'd run a massive run, wouldn't you? You know, you'd have 1,000,000 units running off the shelves, but they weren't sure. So that leads me to come to the logical conclusion that it was a very small run. How much, we don't know. I would love to know the exact figures. So let's hope that somewhere along the line that information is leaked and we'll actually know the true extent of what sold out actually means. Anyway, regardless of the initial run, look, love or hate Meghan, if you did not think that the initial run was not going to sell out, then you need your head examining, because I said this, I predicted it. I'm like Nostradamus, I'm like Baba Vanga. I predicted that the initial run would sell out. I predicted that the initial run would probably be a low production unit volume, whatever you want to call it. You know, call me the Oracle. I love being right. So a big pat on the back for me. I predicted it and it's come true. Maybe I've manifested it, I don't know. So the true impact, the true figures that we really need to see, of course, are what are the repeat buys? Who are going to be these repeat customers that are going to keep coming back and back and back to buy the product? Because that is what is ultimately going to make it a success. It's not necessarily the initial run, it's, you know, how many repeat sales down the line are you going to have? That is the true test, and only Meghan and Netflix are going to truly know the extent of this. They know how much they've produced for the initial run. They know how much money is going to, well, let's just say in 6 months' time, they will have known how much is going to, what the repeat sales are. So that is going to be the true test of Meghan's brand and Meghan's legacy, and of course her selling power. We do know that Meghan's Shop My Closet, you know, things that she's mentioned and stuff, sold out as well. There's no doubt that she has attention. She has eyes on her. You know, we know that from the polo match that she gate crashed, it's all about me, 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 me. She was not supposed to go. I'm going back on a little bit of old ground, but we know that she turned down going there. And then suddenly she invited herself there. As soon as she knew the Netflix cameras were going to be there, it was like a promotion for me, 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 Megsy baby, me, me, me. And it just shows that everything is for show. There she was in her Instagram with her mother in the kitchen, tasting the jam. Her mother Doria did not look impressed by that jam. That was not the reaction that Meghan wanted. I'm surprised she didn't ask her to do it again. That was dreadful. Dreadful reaction. I also can't wait for all the TikTok reviews and the YouTube reviews of people that have actually ordered this jam to try and rip it to shreds. That is going to be quite entertaining and funny coming up. I can't wait for that. I was not queuing. I was not queuing for it. That is not something that I wanted to put in my cart. I want to shop the Highgrove. I want to shop the Duchess originals. Although, to be perfectly honest, I'm still low sugar, so jam isn't really on my agenda unless I do a little bit of seasonal baking. But no, I think the key is in the after sales. It's 6 months down the line. How much is she selling then? What are they actually producing? That's going to be the true test and the true testament. So if in a year's time she's still selling this jam, then we know it's selling, because they aren't going to keep producing it if it's not selling, if it's not making any money. But to be honest, the markup on that jam, well, I keep calling it jam, spread, the markup on that spread must be absolutely immense. I would love to know what the actual cost of that is. Is it, I'm going to talk in UK money here now, so pound sterling. I imagine a jar, if you're buying them, you know, from a manufacturer, it's probably 20, 30 pence a jar, I would imagine. Then you've got the actual jam. I mean, if that jam per portion is probably costing no more than £1, I wouldn't imagine. So the markup is immense. So there is money to be made here. It's whether or not she can keep those repeat sales going. Right, I'm done. I'm done talking about jam. I'm jammed off. Let me know, have you ordered one? Let me know in the comment section. Will you be ordering whenever she restocks? I mean, that's another thing to look out for as well, is how quickly can she get the product back in stock? Because, you know, if it's going to be, if it's made really, really cheaply and really quickly, then obviously she can get it knocked off really quick. If it's something like how they're saying, you know, in the Duchy originals, where it's made in copper kettles, blah, 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 that would take time to restock. So if it's something that she can bang off the shelf really, really quickly, then we know it's cheap. We know it's cheap, nasty stuff. And I can't wait for the food analyst to actually get their hands on it and actually really analyse the food. Actually, what is it made up of? Because you know, you can bet your bottom dollar the Daily Mail are going to get their hands on a jar of Meghan's bread. They are going to send it off to the lab, or the food experts, the food laboratories. They are going to have the recipe, well, the ingredients and the content down pat. And they will be publishing that at some point. You just know that they will, or somebody will. It'll be out there. And then we'll finally find out how cheaply made Meghan's jam actually is. Right, I'm off, my lovies. I'm off. I've had enough of this. It's a nice day and I want to be outside enjoying the rest of the sunshine. So thank you for watching. And if you've enjoyed it, please give it or do all the stuff, my loves. Mwah to you all, and goodbye.